6 o'clock. Good evening to everyone. It's 6 o'clock on Wednesday, December 8th, 2021. I call the meeting of the DeKalb Township Board of Trustees to order. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Absolutely. Trustee King.
Present. Here, is that what we're doing? Taking attendance? Yes, thank you.
Trustee Thurman.
Present.
Trustee Bradlow.
Present.
Supervisor Hess.
Yes, present.
And Trustee McDowell.
Present.
All right, let the record reflect that a quorum is present. And then also present is Assessor Dyer. Okay, so can we have everyone stand for the pledge of allegiance, please? Dale, would you please lead us?
Yes, ma'am. To the count of 1, 2, 3, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dale.
Oh, you're welcome.
Next is approval of the agenda. Does anyone have any corrections or changes in the order of the agenda? Hearing no changes, the agenda is set as is. Next, we have public comment. We do have one card here, Mr. Sharrat.
I'd like to discuss the property tax levy discussion from your November meeting. I contend that this board, both the road district and the township, may have violated PTEL, which is the property tax extension limitation law. The law states in the state of Illinois that each tax district can increase its tax levy by up to 5% or the CPI, Consumer Price Index, 5% or CPI increase, whichever is less, and I underline whichever is less. In the case of the road district, this board voted to increase the levy by 4.99%, so it could slide below the 5% threshold. Very sneaky. However, the second part of the law states 5% or to the CPI, Consumer Price Index, whichever is less. The CPI figure to be used is the 2020 CPI, which was 1.4%. It should also be noted that the township voted to increase its levy above the CPI figure of 1.4%. No one bothered to acknowledge this. Now, if you levy above the 5% rate or above the CPI, whichever is less, the taxing body is required to hold a public hearing and publish a truth in taxation legal notice in the paper. The township and road district both failed to do this prior to approving the levy. So I contend that both the township and road district may have violated Illinois PTEL law. The vote to approve the levy was improper and illegal. Now, regarding the road district tax levy, Mr. Smith argued that the road district needs the additional 4.99% in tax dollars because, in Mr. Smith's words, projections this year is that temperatures will be colder and snow will increase and winds will increase. Absolute hogwash. Where did you get these projections? The NOAA long-term forecast, which I gave to the board members and the clerk, shows quite the opposite from the government. Snow and cold. I share the graphic from NOAA that shows the temperatures are forecast to be above normal this year. And by the way, neither NOAA or the National Weather Service provides a long-term forecast for the wind. So I asked Mr. Smith to provide his source for his weather prognostications. I'm hoping that he wasn't consulting with woolly worms. Also, regarding the government, regarding the permanent road fund budget, of great concern is the expenditure line item, which I gave you copies of for the last 6 years. Right away, looking back at the financials show that these items have been budgeted and never spent. 2016, we budgeted 40K. 2017, 75K, zero spent. 2018, 50K, zero spent. 2019, $250,000 budgeted, zero spent. Same for 2020, $250,000 budgeted, zero spent. And in 2021, $150,000 budgeted, zero spent again. Total $815,000 just with that line item alone. Now the road levy is $824,000. Where is this money going? With that amount not being spent on right-of-way line items, the road district could have only levied $9,000 for 2022. Huge surplus.
Thank you. Your
That's
time
it.
is up.
I timed it out. Thank you.
So I do want to address a concern that you sent to the board regarding the township's tax levy. just to correct some of the accusations that you're making. The concern was whether our tax levy comported with legal requirements, specifically whether our tax levy was valid in light of PTEL requirement, and that the PTEL requirement that the levy cannot generally increase higher than the CPI, which is 1.4%. So the short answer is the levy was and is valid as presented and approved, and I'm going to summarize why. And if you have any questions, feel free to stop me. Our 2021 tax levy, this is for the township, was passed for a total of $1,132,000 compared to our 2020 tax levy, which was passed for $1,081,000. This represents a 4.7 increase from last year. The township is subject to both the truth in taxation law as well as PTEL. Truth in taxation allows the taxing body to increase its levy up to 5% from the prior year. We increased ours 4.7%. Therefore, we did not have to have a hearing. PTEL additionally caps the levy to the lesser of the proposed levy increase or the CPI for the prior year, not counting new growth. We had $70 million in new growth in this past taxing year. Correct.
Roughly, new available EAV was roughly 70 million.
Yes, and we can capture that full 70 million. So the growth estimate for the township was enormous this past year, as Rich just explained. And this is just an estimate, it's not finalized. So we are, our numbers are based on that estimate. That's from Ferrara coming on and the TIP properties coming off. So that represents a 10% overall increase in the township's EAV due to new growth alone. So our levy as presented is allowed under PTEL. In fact, the effect of the new growth is that it lowered our tax rate from last year, which was 0.16002 down to 0.15165. So yes, while the township will receive slightly more revenue this coming year, taxpayers are paying a lower rate based on their EAV, based on the EAV of their property. And again, this is due to the substantial growth in the number of properties which are coming on fully for the tax roll. So it's our duty to pass the tax levy and the tax ordinance based on the numbers that are assumed going into next year. Nothing is finalized yet. So even if there was a circumstance where the levy would exceed CPI, we don't control what we get. That's left up to the treasurer's office. We control what we ask for. So if our amount was to exceed CPI, then the treasurer will reduce that accordingly. We are in complete compliance with our tax levy. Any questions from our board members?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So we will move on. No presentations, so we'll jump to reports. Supervisor's report in your board packet. I've summarized a couple of things. Next Monday, all of you have in front of you a flyer for a vaccination clinic that the township is hosting next Monday from 10 to 2. We're taking online registrations for that, and people can call in and people can come in for their booster shot or their first or second dose, but it's only ages 12 and older. We're not going to serve the little ones here. So if you can help spread the word on that, and I gave you each a flyer for that. And then a couple of days later, we're hosting a virtual presentation with the Citizens Utility Board on home energy savings. And that both of these things are on our website. They're the home energy savings presentation will be done by Zoom. So just an opportunity to help residents understand resources here in light of the rising energy prices. This past Saturday, we had another successful paper shredding and recycling event. So thank you to our volunteers, including trustees Bradlow and Thurman and Clerk Tillotson. Thank you for coming and helping out. We had 115 individuals participate. And at this event, I distributed a newsletter that I just completed for that we had talked about in the past, and that's on the next page of your board packet. So that covers some events that have occurred in the past few months to the township, as well as some upcoming events. So we will do these on a quarterly basis. The next one will go out in the spring. And hopefully, people will also visit this from our Facebook page. It was posted on, as well as being on our website. And our next shred event will be in the spring. We're aiming for May. Another piece of news I want to share with you, the IGA that was passed at a previous meeting with the library for the non-resident library cards. 3 people took advantage of that during the month of November, so I thought that was a pretty good start. So we'll get that invoice at the end of every month, and I'll update you on what that is. Statewide rental assistance program reopened on Monday. So if you know of anyone looking for rental assistance, we are always an option, but if it exceeds the amount of money that we can provide, the state does have that open. So property owners can start that process, or renters themselves. And then next, by Friday at 9 a.m., an amended budget will be posted to our website and posted on our building, just on account of us increasing the emergency assistance after the budget was voted on, going from $300 some to $995. We have a lot more people coming through our door requesting assistance. So that's one of the items that has to be modified so that we can move that expense through the remainder of this fiscal year. FOIA requests are on the next page. And then we have our newsletter. Any questions about any of that, or anything from trustees Bradwell or Thurman about the shred event? Oh, and also thanks to Craig for being here for that and letting us use the garage again.
I was just surprised that there was that much of a need for something like that, seeing that we live in such a digital world. So I was shocked at how much we actually had dropped off.
Yeah,
And everyone was really grateful for the service. That was the one consistent thing about everyone who pulled up. They were thankful.
yeah. And we were able to collect a lot of donations for a lot of eyeglasses for the Lions Club, some hearing aids, and then some of the other recycled items. So
I would imagine the reason that there's so much to be dropped off is because we are digital. People are
Maybe
going
Going
over,
through.
right? And they just don't want to throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll be here one of those Saturdays with quite a few things.
okay. All right, so next we have clerk's report.
I would like to thank the township and the board for working on putting the notes and board packets back on the website. And I hope everybody has a great holiday season and a happy new year.
And he's finished with all of his course requirements and he graduates.
Yes, it's official now. Last time I was still waiting for grades to come back, but it did in fact officially graduate. So December 11th.
Congratulations.
Highway Commissioner?
I have nothing. Happy holidays. Other than that, I have nothing.
Assessor?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Trustees reports? Trustee Thurman?
Nothing.
Trustee McNutt?
Nothing for me.
Trustee King?
NIU is the Mac West Town, so I don't know how anybody could not, right, I don't know how nobody could say that, I'm sorry. I'm excited about that. We'll be playing in the Cure Bowl in Orlando, Florida. The lights look great, Craig.
Thank
I'm
you.
assuming that that was your labor. The university is officially closed as of December 20th. So it's December 20th through January something, I don't know that date. January 4th?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's unusual. We typically close January 22nd. But this year, we got 3 days. So those of us that work for the university are over the top with excitement and enthusiasm about the break. Yeah, students are getting out of here. It is finals week, so I don't really know much. I'm probably not, I think I'm relatively literate and conversant, but it's tough during finals week. But semester was good. They're going home, and I think that's about it for me. We made it. We made it through this semester without a shutdown. So for me, that's a great thing. So just wanted to say that. And the town survived. I don't think that our numbers are horrible either, but there are some places where the numbers are horrible. So,
Cases are rising, and that's why we're hosting the clinic.
Yeah, they are.
Try to-
And thank you, Mary, for all the work that you do, because you've been putting in some overtime, and thank Karen, because it looks like with all these requests, man, she's been doing some, I hope she don't have no paper cuts. I don't know if she's like doing actual pieces of paper, but
Combination of both.
yeah, well, let's hope she, tell her to get some gloves or something, send something out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Trustee Bradlow?
I have nothing.
All right, so we'll move on to bill paying. First item is approval of the November audit report and December bills to pay. So if I could entertain a motion to approve the November audit report in the amount of $145,000, $145,191.31. And then the December bills to pay in the amount of $278,441.76.
A second.
Moved by trustee McNatt, seconded by trustee Thurman. Any discussion on this motion? Questions about any of the bills to pay or that were paid? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
trustee Thurman. Yes.
Yes.
Trustee King,
Yes.
Supervisor Hess,
Yes.
with 5 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
Next is to receive, file, and approve the treasurer's November budget report. Can I get a motion to receive, file, and approve treasurer's December budget report?
So moved.
Trustee King,
Second.
trustee Thurman. Any discussion on this motion for any of the December bills to pay? Hearing none, roll call please.
Trustee McNutt,
Yes.
trustee Thurman. Yes. Trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
trustee King.
Yes.
Supervisor Hess.
Yes.
With 5 ayes and 0 nays, the motion again passes.
And if I could correct that, it's the treasurer's November report. I just said December, I think. All right, so next we have unfinished business. There's none. So new business, we have the approval of the minutes of the regular Board of Trustees meeting for November 10th, 2021. The motion, please. Trustee Bradlow, I'll second that. All in favor of the approval of November meeting minutes? Say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Motion passes. Next, we have a resolution to amend the DeKalb Township and Road District Personnel Policy and Procedures to add a remote work policy. Just a little bit of a discussion about that before we take a motion. So I know our newer trustees have probably not seen our personnel policy, and if you would like to see that, I can certainly send that to you. That's something that was voted on in the last 15, 16 months.
Yeah, okay, I don't remember, I have to be honest.
Roughly. Yeah. And so it's very comprehensive, covering our employees here. But it was suggested recently by one of our attorneys that we add a remote work policy just based on the history of what's happened in the last 18 months or 15 months or 6 years, however long we've been in this pandemic. that we have a policy in place in case anyone does have to work at home, that we have it spelled out what that's gonna look like. So we're just looking for, to add the policy that's in your folder to our personnel policy. So, any discussion before we take a motion on that?
Only this would be like Craig, right? Because the drivers couldn't. So they work from home.
It even says that at one point, how unlikely it would be that any of your guys could even
Yeah.
do it.
This is more for the office staff.
Like the office staff up here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Karen, Erica, Jody,
Oh, okay.
Rich's guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Rich, I'm sorry. I looked at Craig. I just.
It could be a combination of rotating some people at home and some people in person and then switching, so there's not so many people here
Mhm.
if everything blows up,
Right,
you know.
just so we can keep operating.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
not
just.
that we would shutter the doors.
Right. But keep, yeah.
I gotcha.
Just things won't be delayed. So,
And you guys all have discretion, I read, you know, as far as final approval and all that stuff, so that's good too.
I just heard you say something about the road district. That's why I looked at Craig.
oh, well, the personnel policy applies to township and road district, so it's being added to that
Right,
manual.
okay.
So that's why, but yeah, like you said, and Craig explained, this is hard to kind of apply to his guys.
Yeah.
So, all right, can I get a motion then to amend the personnel policy and add the remote work? Or amend the, personnel policy and add the remote work policy to it?
I will.
So I'll say, moved by McNutt. and
Oh, I
seconded
didn't
by
hear.
Trustee King, sorry. I think you said-
Simultaneous
Yeah.
motion.
Oh, okay, okay.
Efficient.
Okay.
Mm,
Roll call, please.
But to be clear, who did the first and who did the second on that?
McNutt made the motion
Thank
and
you.
Trustee King seconded.
All right, awesome. Trustee Bradlow,
Yes,
trustee Thurman,
Yes.
trustee King,
yes.
trustee Cap,
Yes.
supervisor Hess.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
I have a question. So do you all have laptops and stuff? From the
If
DeKalb?
you remember a few years ago, I amended, I believe, so I could actually buy 3 laptops.
Oh, that was smart. Did you know this was coming or?
No,
You just thought,
but it was.
so
just
you're out, when you're
precautionary.
out, I remember that now. Yeah. Yeah, see, look, that's ahead. You just never know.
It's true, and it worked out well for us.
Perfectly, right? Yeah.
And for, at least for Karen and myself, I don't know if Jody has this, I think Jody may have this capability too. We have software which allows for remote, you can access your desktop. And so you can access all your
Oh.
files on your desktop, and I don't know if you have that.
We all do.
Oh, okay. So,
Okay, okay, big time.
Yeah, early on with COVID, I think most of the assessor's office worked remotely. And that's kind of what brought this up, was that during COVID, there was no time for a policy, it was everyone go home, you know, that
Right.
kind of thing. As you well know from working in Northern, you know, and so, you know, we'd lock down the building, so to speak, and all that stuff. So, but now, you know, the suggestions are that now we really need to get something in place that if this would come up again,
Yeah.
you know, it's basically just, these are some guidelines we expect employees to follow.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
okay, moving on, along the same vein here, we have an updated COVID-19 policy. And that is just to reflect, you know, the newest variant and some of the symptoms of that, the rising numbers of people getting that. And so it's in line with what the CDC is recommending. And so we just wanted a policy to reflect that, and that, you know, if anyone is exposed, that they're taking the proper precautions to not put anyone here in this building at risk. So it's a lot of the same that was in the one that we passed in May. You know, as far as social distancing, masking, making the staff aware that they can go get the vaccine on work time and so forth. So we'll be asking all the staff members to sign this so that they know how to handle it if they're exposed or. So any discussion about this before we motion?
How many changes are there? It's not highlighted, so I know it's.
Yeah, it's mostly about the self-monitoring. That's the major change to include all of those symptoms. And what the those that are vaccinated versus those who are not vaccinated, how to deal with exposures.
You know what booster is gonna be here?
All
Vaccinate all
will be
three?
available.
Okay, okay.
Any other questions about it? Okay, so can I have a motion to adopt the resolution which will adopt the updated COVID-19 policy?
So move.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
trustee King,
yes.
trustee Thurman,
Yes.
trustee McNabb,
Yes.
supervisor Hess.
Yes.
With 5 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
And then the next thing is continuing on with our discussion from last month about potential changes to our resolution for website posting and board meeting information. I was able to get some information from our website host, and our website has, Dale, you're gonna translate all this. So our website has 20,000 megabytes, and we are currently using 6,282. So I figure that's about 32%. We have 32% or 13,718 megabytes remaining. And so I did, per your request, trustee Thurman, I did look at last month's and this month's board packets. Last month's board packet was 4.1 megabytes. This month's board packet was 4.11 megabytes. So an estimated 12 months would, you know, for some months being a little bit more, be between 50 and 60 megabytes of space. So
That's minuscule. That's the amount of that size is negligible, basically.
okay. So you know, and we still are going to be adding more to the website. So we have to keep that in mind too, but we certainly can create board packets. And then that way all of our financials will be on there. So now the question is just, at least one of my questions is, how far back do we go with adding the historical documents to the website? We currently have all months of 2020 and all months of 2021 on there. And like I said last time, when each of those years, we could collapse those so that they're still accessible. But, you know, that's just the agenda and the minutes. So if we want to put it into practice in 2022, since it's last month, that we start adding the board packets or whatever direction you all suggest.
Yeah, if the space is minuscule, we might as well put it on there going forward.
Okay, so you're suggesting
I would
board
say,
packets beginning January 2022?
Do you want to work off our fiscal year? Because I think it could get confusing to people to see financials come out in the middle of a fiscal year.
But the financials, we have been putting them on this.
Oh, okay, I apologize.
so we'd be good.
Mhm.
Yeah, if the space it takes up is gonna be small until we start filling up with other stuff.
And you had suggested taking a percentage of that space and reserving it for storage.
It sounds like it's 20 gigabytes of storage and we're not even using.
meg.
No, you said 20,000 megabyte, which is
20
translate to,
megabytes.
which, translate to 20 gigabytes.
Right.
Yeah, so,
And we're using a little over 6, right?
Mhm.
So,
and you're using 6, how much is in use again?
6,282 megabytes are being
So
used of
6.
20,000 megabytes.
Okay, so we're using 6 gigabytes of about 20 gigabytes. And the board packets are tiny, that'll be a drop in the bucket compared to that.
Okay.
I'd be all right with it.
So adding the board packets starting in 2022.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
looking to make sure. Like, I don't think we should use. Well, yeah, I don't think we should put people's names on here.
We do not.
Okay,
Like the general assistance clients?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, those have never been on there.
Those are like
confidential.
Coded numbers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how
Okay.
I saw.
other than Mary, what none of us.
okay, I see those
can that
numbers.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and we are, anything to do with general assistance clients, that information gets redacted if we have to.
Yeah, as long as we're not violating any privacy issues and all that stuff.
Okay, so the resolution will read to put the board packets starting in January of 2022. And then as far as the information that we have up there now, all the information from 2020 and 2021. Going forward, are we just going to collapse that information each year and leave it accessible on the website? Since that's not, over time, that this is gonna use up more space.
We could have a rolling auto deletion, like a 5-year. I don't know what best practice is, keep 4 or 5 years and then.
Yeah, I think when Attorney Stewart was here, we were considering 4 years, so it was basically a term, right?
But it would just be a rolling deletion and each year I don't know if they would delete monthly. Is even daily. How auto delete works, first in, first out.
So when you say collapse, you'll still be able to access it from there? Okay. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I say just current year. And
Current
then-
year is up there, previous
Yeah.
years are
Which
collapsed.
they can always go back and
Right,
And
right.
will
if they
you,
really want to.
will you access it by category or just here's the packet that was?
I think it'll just say the year and then there'll be links to the individual months.
Meeting dates.
Okay.
Should it be on a fiscal year?
Right now, we have it on a calendar year.
Once we
mean,
start
most-
going,
Most townships that I look at, they're set on a calendar year. I
Oh,
don't
are they?
really see 'em.
Okay.
Yeah, I've looked at a lot and that 4-year range seems what a lot of townships do contain on their website.
Yeah, because the new supervisor may say, let's re-examine it,
Yeah.
right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so 4 years of documents will remain accessible. And then we do have the I believe it's 2 years of the past year and the current year for the budget. We already have those on there and we'll obviously continue that practice. Anything else about this topic?
as far as more to put on there, or
Yeah, any comments, any?
is that,
That's
are
perfect.
most of the requests after, is that what most of the requests hone in on, or are we gonna be saving
I think it
Man
will
hours?
start to save some hours, and will it capture everything? No. It'll be,
No, but if it captures the bulk of what all the requests want, then it's gonna save man hours and.
yeah, that's why I'm gonna have Karen go back and put on, for the years that are up, I'm gonna have her go and put the monthly financial report for each of those years.
Yeah.
And then that way it's a little more comprehensive. So,
I think it's
you know,
good.
we can revisit it again in 6 months if it's, needs to be modified.
Yeah, the only other question I remember is what is the cost of additional space?
So here's what he said. I need more information to determine additional costs, how much storage you need and how much bandwidth will be required to deliver the data files to the users. I can project costs if I know what kind of files will be in use on the website.
So are we talking mostly PDFs for all our
Yeah.
board packets and
Yeah.
everything?
We are developing a new page to our website for partners. That's for the agencies that we partner with and give social service funding to. So we did ask them as part of their acceptance of the contract to, by year's end, to send us a video promoting the program that we provided funding for, so that people in the community know that we are, a partner in that particular program. So those videos are, going to take up some space on our website. So I don't know, we'll have to get back to our web provider, to our web host to get that information.
Can we track how many people look at the stuff on the website? Is that possible to track how many
I have
viewers?
no idea.
It probably tracks it all.
And
Most of
I
them.
think it does.
Yeah.
I remember.
And most providers will give you a dashboard that'll just show you where, how your storage is used, what bandwidth you're using.
Okay,
And,
And your traffic too.
right.
okay.
Well, I'm asking, I asked because we use a thing at work and you can track or you cannot track. So I'm hoping that we
Oh.
will track.
I
Yeah.
think
I
by
don't
now
know if it's
we are
automatic.
tracking. I thought,
Yeah, I haven't gotten trained on our website yet, so
Okay.
I don't know, but I'll ask that when I do.
It might even auto-generate a monthly report so you can see your traffic,
I'm sure it does all kinds of fancy stuff, right?
Yeah, they're all user-friendly. You don't even have to be a guru to.
I understand. It's usually pie charts and graphs, something, it's usually visual. And most people, like, I was just saying, to send it out automatically at the end of the month. They just you get, hey, here's your traffic. Because they want you constantly evaluating it so you can buy more space.
Right.
So have you received anything yet?
I have not.
So I'm saying we need to check
Yeah.
to make sure.
I will.
Yeah, maybe there's a ton of interest and we're just gonna get inundated with lots of web traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right? And we don't even realize the people we're not connected with.
Yeah, well, we do, from our Facebook page, we refer a lot of people to our website. so.
And with videos, that's another place that we can put the videos on Facebook so that it come as a defense against our space and provide pointers to that.
Yeah, or we can put them on our YouTube channel with our
The link.
meeting minutes.
Yeah, put pointers to that and then that's no space for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so I will work with Brad to have this resolution drafted and present it at the January meeting.
Sounds good.
All right.
At this break, I might have to take off.
Okay.
My daughter's gonna-
Okay.
Thank you. Oh,
All
I'm
right,
sorry, I
thank
have to
you.
leave her.
Merry Christmas to
Merry
you.
Christmas to you. I'll see you before the end of the week. I have something
Oh,
to
that's
talk
right.
about there. Well, thank you.
All right.
Stop by my office so you can pick mine up too.
Okay, I could do that. I'll bring it up in.
Okay, so
Please.
next on the agenda is executive session to discuss litigation. Pursuant to 5 ILCS 120, section 2 to 11. So we are going to adjourn the open session and go into closed session. So can I get a motion to go into executive session?
I move that we go into.
Okay, Trustee King,
A second.
seconded by trustee Bradlow. Roll call, please.
Trustee King,
Yes.
trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
trustee Knapp,
Yes.
supervisor Hess,
Yes.
trustee Thurman. So with 4 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
Okay, and I am going to request that Highway Commissioner Smith stay present for this, considering what the subject is. And we'll see you later.
All right, have a good holiday.
So if you could please turn the Zoom off.